Rare diseases often cause unexplainable medical symptoms that can be exhausting and infuriating, even deadly. The problem is not so rare, though, with 1 in 10 people diagnosed with one. Baylor College of Medicine is teaming up with the Undiagnosed Diseases Network Foundation, and they're inviting anyone suffering mysterious symptoms to join them this weekend to try to find answers. Michelle Herndon was a pediatric nurse for almost 2 decades. Now she's a mom on a mission after losing her beloved son Mitchell to a rare disease 5 years ago. Researchers in Houston were able to figure out what was plaguing her boy.
My oldest son, around the age of 12, started having unusual symptoms that even the best doctors around the United States couldn't figure out. And so ultimately, we were referred to the Undiagnosed Diseases Network when he was 17. We traveled to Houston. We got to see a lot of doctors at Baylor. They did our genetic testing and found this very unique genetic change, put it in fruit flies, and ultimately were able to solve the case. And then my son became the first person with this new disease that's now named after him.
It's now called Mitchell syndrome. And yes, fruit flies at Baylor College of Medicine often help researchers figure out what's going on in humans. Dr. Hugo Bellin is a world-renowned medical researcher at BCM who helped discover Mitchell syndrome and says researchers often unravel the mysteries by looking at the DNA of children and their parents.
By sequencing their genomes, we can hone in on a specific gene or on a set of specific genes. And what we then do is to model these mutations in fruit flies. And by doing so, we've been able to diagnose more than 50 new human diseases in the last few years in collaborations with the physicians. So physicians diagnose, but they can't find the real cause. And by working with them, we help them define what is happening in the kid.
Symptoms of rare diseases vary and can mimic other conditions, often going undiagnosed from a few years up to 15 years. Michelle meets up with other families who have children diagnosed with Mitchell syndrome. She doesn't want anyone else to suffer without answers, so she invites everyone concerned about a rare disease to join them at the Health Museum on Saturday.
That's what we want to provide, is a community and a space where people feel like they belong and they're understood.
Even if you can't attend the community event, your family can get help. You're first urged to find a geneticist to collect and study DNA. Then, if you don't get answers from that, the Undiagnosed Diseases Network provides free evaluations.
They can apply to the UDN, the Undiagnosed Diseases Network, which is supported by the National Institute of Health. And by doing so, they will be assigned a clinic in the United States. There's now 19 sites throughout the United States where they'll be assigned a clinic. And so that's been a quite successful approach.
Now, that event is from 10 to 2 tomorrow, which is Saturday the 26th at the Health Museum in Houston. It helps to register in advance, they tell me, but you don't have to. More information on our website, fox26houston.com.